Leaders, changemakers, welcome. Let's get into the magnetic mind and how you can use it to become top priority in your life. Now, you see, we are vibrational beings living in a vibrational experience. If you want to learn more about this, I have a prerequisite video, part 1, magnetic mind, that's going to introduce you to who you are, who you need to become, and ultimately what you need to do to enhance. Watch that video. If you have not, then a lot of these things may not stick the way it should. So let's talk about it. Vibration. We are vibrational beings and we need to start focusing on what boosts our energy. Right now, you're probably in a loop that is negative and really lowers your vibration. Now, what does that mean? It means that the energy that is in loop in your life is creating emotions, and these emotions that are negative can be anger, it can be shame, guilt, and so on and so forth. The law of polarity states that what is existent, the opposite also exists as well. So if you are currently in a negative state, today's the day you're going to learn how to get into a positive state. I'm going to break that down on making you top priority. Now, that positive state is joy, it's clarity, and love. If you have these things in your life, then you probably have a higher vibration to begin with. But a lot of us have come from trauma and have a lot of anger, shame, guilt, sadness, and we need to now raise our vibration. Now, so easy to say, all you need to do is raise your vibration to become top priority, but let's talk about what you really need to focus more on, and it's practice. Because we haven't gotten the prerequisite of life when we were born, meaning you probably didn't have family members around, you probably didn't have a good guidance system around to tune you into your timeline of success and the life you want to live, you now need to enter the practice state. I like to call it refining. Now, the practice state needs you to concentrate on your habits, behavior, response, your attitude, and your thoughts. If you are practicing at anything in life, it needs to be these things that I just listed. There's 2 strategies, okay? So you're gonna do your vibrational enhancing and you're gonna do your concentration focusing. You wanna practice, you wanna keep moving in life and make sure that you are applying yourself in these ways. So how do you do that? Well, what does that look like? Habits and behaviors. Your habits is something that is going to propel you towards becoming top priority. If your habit is linked to anger, shame, and guilt, you probably are going to overeat. You probably are going to be compulsive, where you have no power over your emotions and actions, and ultimately you're going to be feeling a bit depressed as well. So, with that being said, we want to get into a positive habit. We want to get out of negative habits, right? So what you're concentrating on right now is probably negative. You probably look at yourself as shy, low self-esteem, you can't do this, you can't do that, you don't have that, like things like that is really going to lower your vibration. The concentration you have on your response and character can also now be negative as well. You probably have a victim response or an angry or a jealous response towards things, which ultimately lowers your character. Your character is something that's a guiding force where no matter what you go through in life, your character is ultimately the stone, the rock that keeps you from falling into old patterns and negative systems. So with that being said, what makes your character? Your response. What makes your habits? Your behavior. What makes your attitude? What you focus on. If you focus on negative things, then you have a negative attitude. If you focus on positive things, then you have a positive attitude. Do you see how we have to switch these vibrations? And it's really simple. Just focusing on these things will definitely get you there. Now, the first thing I want to really stress is your thoughts. Your thoughts is ultimately what's going to create everything here. If your thoughts are negative right now, your habits are negative, your response is negative, your attitude is negative. If your thoughts are positive, then you're going to have a positive behavior, positive response, a positive focus on things. So now we know that we need to do more of concentrating on our thoughts so we can affect our habits, our response, and attitude. Here's something that you probably want to start to consider as a habit where you are working out. Working out is such an amazing thing to do. It doesn't have to be weights and going overboard, but just move your body, go on walks, dance, move, get some fluid in those joints. We really want you to start to get into the high vibration of movement, and working out can do just that. Start small, 2 minutes a day, and then increase it throughout the day or throughout the week whenever you feel like you're ready for that next step. Another thing you can do to increase your habits and your behaviors that align with the same thing is that you want to start reading more. Reading gives you a very powerful place of creation. When you take out a book and you open that page and you focus on what is going on in the pages and you make your mind read and take its time and understand, this is ultimately how you are going to treat people. Reading allows you to increase your responses and your character, your attitude, and your focus. Because you are placing yourself in an environment where you are controlling your emotions and your energy, you are now heightening your vibration. Because you are taking that power, placing yourself in a peaceful state, opening up and directing your mind to do things. The more you read, the more you are directing your mind to do things, practicing to direct your mind to be more positive and increase these overall concentration areas. To be honest, we can stop there, but because I listed 3 here, I'm going to list 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to list 3 more, apologies. So now that we have some habits, let's work on our response. What do we need to practice our response in? Well, how about we practice active listening? And active listening isn't meaning that you're just listening to the person and that's it. Active listening means you are feeling what they're saying, you're hearing what they're saying, and you're also questioning them. Now, these questions shouldn't come from a place of proving wrong or proving right. It should be coming from a place of understanding. Now, the next thing you could probably do when it comes to practicing is your attitude. How is your attitude towards certain projects? Do you have a positive outlook or do you have a negative outlook? You always want to have a positive outlook whenever you are starting something in your life. This is ultimately going to boost your vibration and allow you and your mind to work in cohesion to create some positive outcomes along the way. Having a positive outlook will increase your attitude and make you want to actually focus more. So I'll give you an example right now. If you're like, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read this book and I'm going to learn something, instead of, oh, I don't want to sit, I don't like to read, I'm not going to learn anything, I'm not interested in this thing, or that's a negative attitude, right? So you want to really start something with a positive attitude so your mind could absorb all the positive lessons and information so you can start to heighten your vibration. Now, the last thing you want to concentrate on is, of course, your thoughts. I would love to introduce EFT, affirmations, and breathing. People call it breath work. These right here ultimately will start to regulate the energy that's in motion. This last point is going to help you regulate the energy that's in motion. That is your emotions, right? We need to practice to manage our emotions because our energy in motion is energy, and that can either increase or decrease our vibration. And that's what we need to concentrate more on. So now that we have a beginner's list of what to do, I want you to start perfecting this. I want you to take 1 month to really hone in on refining and practicing these attributes when it comes to what you should be focusing on. And this is what's really going to happen in the end. What's going to happen in the end is you're going to become top priority of yourself. You're going to have a very deep understanding of your regulation, of what you need to regulate, and how to manage yourself. This is not about managing life and people. This is about managing yourself. Now, I left this blank because everyone is different. You might want to add a third attribute to this, but whenever you're observing anything, you should always observe internally. Observation is internally, and observation does not need action right away. It just needs to have you aware of what's going on and what needs to be done. So let's go into I am. I am is a prime direction for your mind. I am gives your mind instruction. I am gives your mind embodiment. So this is 2 affirmations I want you to apply yourself today that I mentioned over here. I want you to apply these affirmations in your practice every day. Okay, I want you to do it before you work out and after you work out. I want to see you do it after you read. I want you to do it before you get into any type of human interaction. I want you to do it before you start any goals. I want you to do this affirmation. The exception to the rules is you. I am the exception to the rules. This is an internal esoteric affirmation, meaning when you say this internally, you are now shifting the focus on who you are. You always need to remind yourself on this journey of vibration of who you are. And this is exactly the perfect affirmation to say on this journey. The next one is external. Right now we're focused on becoming top priority for ourselves, but let's add this into the mix. I am divine energy, and the universe is working miracles in my favor. This is external. Now you are allowing your mind to know that you are supported in the external, in the exoteric realm. When you are collaborating and partnering with yourself and the universe, this is when you start to activate your magnetic mind. You're giving your mind a point of reference for everything that you're doing. The practice is a point of reference for you to come out in high vibration. The overall affirmations is a point of reference for you to heighten your vibration. So when you are in the vibration of practice, you become top priority. When you become top priority, you now know exactly what you need to regulate and what you need to manage, and that will go into your energy. So do you need to manage your anger? Do you need to manage your shame? Do you need to manage your guilt? Do you need to regulate your joy? Make sure that it's constant. Do you need to regulate your clarity? Make sure that's constantly moving. Do you need to regulate your love? Making it happen more and have more abundance and embracing it more often. Then this is what you know you need to concentrate on. And it just goes over in a cycle and cycle over again. This is the loop that you need to be in to get into a positive outcome. This loop right here will ultimately get you to a place of positive vibration. And I really, really want this for you. I really want you to understand who you are and how magnetic your mind is. The same way you can get into a negative loop is the very same way you can get into a positive loop. And imagine if you got into this positive loop, you become top priority. This loop right here is practice. Some days, if you zoom in on this, some days you're gonna get out of loop, right? Same with your negative energy. You're going to get out of loop. But as long as you keep focus, you can actually create a very perfect loop, a perfect timeline where you are literally achieving and attracting the abundance and lifestyle that you want. Now, if you want to learn more about this, there's going to be a part 3 where we are going to talk about the top priority of not self, but the world. Or I would like to call your reality. If you want me to break this down and then also give you the formula for everything else I've done down here in the same way I did with the top priority of reality, you're going to want to comment, get in touch, and get this part 3. This part 3 video is really going to hone in everything and connect everything that we're talking about on a bigger picture. For now, until that video comes out, I want you to practice refining your habits. Refine your habits so you can have a positive behavior. Refine your response so you can have a positive character. Refine your attitude so you can have a positive focus. Refine your thoughts so you can just embody the top priority life. Now, I'm going to leave you with this. Any questions you have, I am here to break anything down, but I feel like this is a perfect blueprint for you to really start becoming top priority using your magnetic mind to create a life of abundant ease and grace. Until then, you take care and don't forget about the power you hold.